Until Josh Allen can slay the Patrick Mahomes beast in the playoffs, I got to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. He has beat him in the regular season. He's 3-1 versus Patrick Mahomes in the regular season, but he's 0-2 versus Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. And there's only two people who have ever sent Patrick Mahomes home with a loss in the playoffs, and that's Tom Brady, who's done it twice, and Joe Burrow. Nobody else has done it. Nobody else. And by the way, outside of Super Bowls, this is Patrick Mahomes' first road playoff game. That's pretty insane. But I just, this defense that they have, L'Jarius Sneed, he'll be on Stephon Diggs. I think they have the pieces. I just know anytime I bet against Kansas City in a game like this, Patrick Mahomes goes and the game's close at the end. He takes over. Rashee Rice, Pacheco, Travis Kelce, everybody turns it up a notch, and you look up, and they're somehow winning the game, and they're in the AFC Championship again. So until Josh Allen shows me and proves to me, hey, I can go to the playoffs, and I can beat Patrick Mahomes, and I can keep going, I got to go with the Kansas City Chiefs.
It's certainly special to watch Josh Allen play this past weekend against Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, he's just a different animal out there on the field. But that was Pittsburgh. It was a different situation. They didn't have a whole lot, although they was fighting and trying hard. And we obviously saw the final results of that game. But like Richard said, when you look at it, for whatever reason, I have Kansas City going into Buffalo, a place that has not been the greatest home field advantage to Buffalo in the past. If you just look at Denver winning there this year and won. Okay, Cincinnati winning there last year and won in a playoff game. So when you start to really break it down, Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, first time on the road in the playoffs, 2-0, as Richard said, against in the postseason against Josh Allen, 3-3 lifetime. Okay, most of the games except one game has been in Arrowhead. Now, all of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes goes to Buffalo in a hostile environment. I'm sure the weather will be crazy, all of those sort of things. But something tells me that Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and Kelce and company, they just know how to win games. Remember, they played earlier this year. It was 20-17. I think that was the score, 20-17 in Week 14 this season. Buffalo beat them. But it was only 20-17. It wasn't 40-17. So when I look at that, and Buffalo's defense, they lost a couple players in the Pittsburgh game. They did. So that defense is steadily falling apart, just continuously falling apart every time you look up. I know it'll be a close game. I just have Kansas City, for whatever reason, in the AFC Championship game. Now, whether or not that championship game will be in Arrowhead, depending on what Houston does in Baltimore, I just got them being in the AFC Championship game.
You giving Houston a shot?
Man, every time you say, I'm picking Baltimore to go to the Super Bowl, but every time you say, he's young and C.J. Stroud.
Well, we all said Cleveland would win down in Houston.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So we're like, Jordan Love, he's young, and they just go out there and do it. Baker Mayfield, he's this, he's that, he's going to Detroit. Jared Goff, well, he'll give him 3. Well, he's got another game. So I'm just going to say this. I wouldn't be shocked or surprised if Houston put up a good fight.
Okay. Back to Mahomes. Back to Josh Allen. I am leaning on this day, on Tuesday, toward Josh Allen finally breaking through in a game that really matters.
You don't like Patrick Mahomes, though.
Well, I just think I've never liked Josh Allen. And I got to give it up to him because ever since that Denver debacle, it was a night game. Was it a Monday or Sunday? I can't remember. But it was, right? And ever since then, obviously, my team went up there, got bum rushed right off the field, mostly by James Cook, and Josh completed only 7 passes of that game out of 15 attempts. But Josh is starting to win me over because it feels like he's growing up right before your very eyes and figuring out you cannot throw it to the other team and win at this level. You cannot do crazy things with the football and get it stripped and scooped and scored on you and win at this level. And I really liked the way he played. It was yesterday afternoon, but for us, it was a night game. because it felt like even against, there was no T.J. Watt, I got it, but it's a Mike Tomlin coach defense, and they're going to play hard, and they're going to make it hard on you. And Josh was really good in that game. And that 52-yard run, as he said, my teammates were all screaming, get down, get down, get down. And I kept running, and I ran all the way into the end zone. Well, he's capable, because here it is.
Be nice for them to tackle him.
Try to tackle him.
Mika Fitzpatrick, an all-pro. I mean, it'd be nice for you to hustle.
Maybe.
It'd be nice for you to hustle.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be putting that on the film as they watch it.
Okay, but he is 6'5", and he does weigh 250 pounds.
That's fine.
And he can run.
But if I got my secondary standing around looking, I mean, I can walk in the end zone there.
All right.
Like, come on, man.
All right. And then he can throw these rockets. He threw one to the guy I wanted Dallas to draft, Dalton Kincaid. If we could see the 29-yarder to Kincaid, because it was
up the seam.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
it was sweet, man.
Pinpoint accuracy in the cold. Look at that thing.
Yeah, a little flick of the wrist and hits him right on the button.
Stuck to them gloves.
Yeah,
bam.
Stuck to him.
Okay, and then he made another play late in the third quarter that I thought was a big play. Because remember, Pittsburgh cut this to 24-7. This is a big play that got them to 24, but it was a third and 8 play at the Pittsburgh 41, late in third quarter. If we could see him, Josh rolled out, and you can say it's ill-advised, but this is what he does, and he got away with it because he sort of figured out how to do it. I'm thinking you better not throw that across your body back into the field to play, and he found his guy.
But the great thing about that, Skip, is he threw it inside.
He did.
So away from the defender opposed to throwing it on his outside.
Yeah. That is Mahomes-esque. You know, there are few humans who can make that throw on the dead run like that back across your body. And he and Stephon looked like they were getting back on the same page last night. So the point is, to your point, they are decimated on defense. Obviously, they lost Matt Milano and Tre'Davious White, and then they lost 2 more DBs last night. And I don't know how
they lost a linebacker, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they just keep... It's next man up and next man up and next man. And I'm like, well, who's left on the roster? But I just like the way Josh Allen is playing right now. And as he said after the game, nobody has better veteran leadership than they have in their locker room. I'll buy that. And they've been playing for their lives, because I think they had a 5% chance of making the playoffs after they lost to Denver. And they've been playing playoff games now for like 6 weeks, right? And they just keep winning.
Well, they do, Skip. But the thing is we talked about the defensive side of the ball, losing players left to right, left to right, left to right. Kansas City's not losing players left to right, left to right. No. So Kansas City, for the most part, are coming in fully healthy. And I think that is the key. And then Rashee Rice, as you talked about, Richard, has all of a sudden, the lights aren't too bright. The stadium is not too big for him.
He's really good.
And he's starting to have a pretty good rapport with Patrick Mahomes. So he's showing that he's not just a rookie wide receiver anymore. He's growing up. Anytime you can play the way he played in his first playoff game against Miami and dominate the way that he did in that fashion, now he has an opportunity to take that to Buffalo with a depleted secondary, depleted defense, and duplicate maybe possibly the same success. This is why I feel like Kansas City and Andy Reid and company I feel like they're going to go into Buffalo, which is not a hostile environment as much as you may have thought in the past that, hey, they're going to Buffalo. It's dark when you drive in. There's snow everywhere. It's one road with rocks in it. It's a totally...
It's got rocks in it? I don't remember that.
The road got all the gravel and salt and stuff like that. On the road when you drive in. Potholes. They got it all. You drive in and it's miserable to you as a visiting team.
Yep.
But that's not the same as it used to be. And teams have gone up to Buffalo and won games in crucial situations.
Yeah. And I'm going to give you this. L'Jarius Sneed. Go ahead, Richard. Go.
No, you're right. Yeah. L'Jarius Sneed is a player. He should have been an all-pro.
Hey, I don't see anybody play corner better than he's playing it right now. I don't. Just eye tests. And every week, I just see him take somebody out of the game. So he will be on Stephon. I'm going to give you that. Go, Richard.
No question. Yeah. He'll be on, and Shakir has tried to step it up, and elevate himself. They're going to make it a Gabe Davis, Shakir game, so they're going to have to. But let's not get too crazy about Josh Allen not turning the ball over. Pittsburgh was without T.J. Watt, their best player, and they still made the game semi-competitive. They were in it throughout the game with Mason Rudolph, their third quarterback this year. starting. Let's not get crazy. Against Miami, he still turned the ball over 3 times, which has been his Achilles heel. That was the last game he played against a competitive playoff team. And so I'm not sure he's gotten over that turnover bug like that you're saying, Skip, because until he proves it against a playoff team and he doesn't turn it over, if he goes into this game and doesn't turn the ball over against the Kansas City Chiefs, doesn't throw an interception or fumble the ball, then I'll give him credit to say, hey, Josh Allen, maybe you turn in the corner. Maybe you're figuring it out. But this defense was without their linchpin, their kingpin, and T.J. Watt. I didn't expect them to have the showing that they did. They played as well as they could have. That play Josh Allen had, it did look like a few loafs, but what I'm thinking the DBs were thinking was there was a similar play where Josh Allen slid earlier this year, and they hit him, and they got a late hit. And you always get a late hit when you're hitting these quarterbacks. And then he faked like he was going to slide, and he didn't slide at all, and he got up out of there, which is fine. They took it out of the college rules. You know, they made it against the rules in college, but not in the league.
I'm not asking you to say it, but what is that called, Richard, when you assume you make blankety blank blanks out of, you know that one. The coaches say,
you make a
I don't want you to say it, but you know, I got so I can't assume he's going to slide. I cannot assume whoever I don't remember there was a shallow cross that was run and Josh Allen hit the shallow cross and somebody took it to the house. I can't assume watching that secondary and everybody watching the guy run around instead of going to pursue. And look, I played offense, but I was on a hell of a defensive teams, whether it was with the New York Jets and our defense or whether it was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who won the Super Bowl. When you loaf and you stand around and you watch, this is what happens, regardless of what may have happened in the past. You got to put that behind you. That's all I'm pointing out. I'm just saying, hey, if you would have done this, maybe we wouldn't be sitting up here having conversations on whether or not Mike Tomlin is going to be in Pittsburgh in the future. We wouldn't be having that conversation.
All right, so I got one last question. Are you guys sure that Mahomes has been Mahomes this year? I know they led the league in drops, but is he really playing at the Mahomesian level that he used to?
Certain guys, Skip, in leagues in general. Certain guys in leagues in general set a standard so high that you're going to always keep them there. Mm-hmm. I don't care if it's LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. So the moment it doesn't look like, oh, this is what Lamar Jackson did in 2019, and it looks different this year, the first thing you say is, well, it's a different year. Okay. Everything is different. All right. It's a different year.
So why did you...
And for example, I mean, Tom Brady had one of the worst years of his career last year and threw for 4,600. He would have led the league in passing yards this year. You know, he would have been up there amongst the league's leaders in a lot of categories. And it's a different year. It's all that. But with Mahomes in these playoffs, Skip, he's up there with LeBron and Jordan and every great player because his resume says he rarely loses.
Okay. So how dare both of you mention LeBron before you mention Jordan? How could you do that?
Stop.
We're going to get struck by lightning.
Oh, God.
You can't do it on this show.
Stop.
You cannot do it. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.